Good morning. Well, we still have a dry day today and for most of tomorrow, but then the rain comes in for the weekend. It just seems like it's gonna keep raining. Well, it's fall in Vancouver. I hope you're having a great day whenever you're watching this. But it is now Thursday, September 15th, and I hope you sit back and enjoy just my thoughts on certain subjects that keep popping up in the news and, just a different side of the views. And it may not always be right, but at least I have a view. So, our first one out in Chilliwack, there seems to be an elementary school, I believe it's an elementary school, that addicts keep using the schoolyard in order to inject drugs. And you know what? I'm sorry, but yeah, and I guess you have to get rid of the needles, but just throwing them on a kid's playground, that's ridiculous. And it showed pictures of needles. But to me, if you need to do drugs, be responsible and either go to an injectable clinic, and if there isn't any, you brought the garbage there, so take it away. Don't leave it so, young kids can find it, get stabbed with it. I think maybe the area or the district of Chilliwack should, put up signs where they can get help or how they can get help, and allow these people to get help. Unfortunately, I don't condone them leaving their garbage around. But on the other hand, it is an illness. And, we do need to take care of our illness. Now, someone who is sick with a drug addiction needs to get help. But, most other illnesses, if you're sick with, cancer or some other illness that you're truly sick with, oh, that's fine. Just that's okay. But mental illness and drug addiction are two that are kind of shunned, and it's ridiculous. Everyone who has a drug addiction or a food addiction or any addiction or any mental illness are shunned, and they shouldn't be. It's maybe it was their fault for trying some sort of drug, but that doesn't mean that it's once they get hooked that they can't stop. And here we seem to think, they can just stop, and they can't. But on the other hand, a lot of these people require help, and if they can't get it, it's not their fault. But it is their fault in keeping the area they're shooting up in clean. Now, it would be better if no one shot up. And it would be nice to get people the help they need. However, a lot of times this isn't going to happen because it's also hard to admit that you have a problem. And when you do admit you have a problem, it takes so long to get recovery that, a lot of them keep using. And unfortunately, a lot of them keep using till the point, that they could die. And, I don't care if you're a drug addict or anyone in that case, your life is important. And you need to keep your life, and if you are having issues, get help. It's kind of like kids and child abuse. Keep fighting until someone gives you help. So, if you're having an issue with drugs or alcohol or any habit, keep talking until someone gives you the help. And hope all is well. And if you are an addict, clean up your mess. You brought the needle in, so take the needle out. I know that probably is a lot easier than it sounds. Maybe like I said, the municipality or the district could put up signs about how to find help, but also they could have garbage cans out so that people can throw the used needles in there and at least keep them off the playing ground. These, kids have a right to play in a safe area, and I don't condone throwing the needles around, and I don't condone using drugs. It's one of the worst things you could ever get a hold of. So just remember, and people on the Chilliwack, take care of your playground. I know you're going to be... I didn't listen to the actual story, but I know the parents have a plan. So I think the signs and the areas where they're finding them, just garbage cans, yellow garbage cans, so the kids know to stay away from yellow garbage cans. Anyway, have a great day, and we'll talk to you later. Bye now. Hi there, it's just Mike again. Inside, and found out that there was an update to the parents and the school kids' playgrounds with needles on it. They're going to go into the wooded areas, the parents, and they're going to confront anyone in there, because it's supposedly being rumored that these people are watching the kids while they do drugs. So We'll see. I just hope that they know to be safe. You don't know what these people, when they're on drugs, are capable of doing. So be safe and be sane when you're doing this. I wouldn't suggest it, but they will do what they want to do. Just an update for you. Okay, so up in the Okanagan, there is a moving company called Two Burly Men. And I've spoken to some of them. My mom was going to move down here. And we had called them and we were going to use them. And then things seemed to straighten out where she was, so there was no need for them. However, the Two Burly Men are vandalized. And I don't know, people upset with their moving. I don't know what the reasons are. But really, do we have to go that far? You know, getting things demolished from your competitors or, someone, oh, I'm bored. Let's go out and let's ruin someone's trucks or someone's business. That enough is enough. Whatever the reason are, does not warrant getting stuff demolished or ruining someone's business. Whatever happened to free enterprise without damaging the other guy? But oh no, we have to, you have to keep damaging the other guy. Well, I'm sorry. I don't see any reason for that. Now, if it's a bunch of teenagers, grow up. Oh well. Yes, I think it's fun. Well, it's not. People work hard and put an awful lot of work into their businesses to have some juvenile delinquents come and ruin it. And if it's people from different agencies or different companies, I hope you're prosecuted to the full extent of the law. It doesn't matter. Just because, if we get rid of this company, well then, that'll just mean twice as much for me. So, either case, I hope they are prosecuted. The only problem with prosecuting, if it's teenagers, is, someone's gonna have to pay out that money. So, why not work for the company? There's an awful lot, we won't prosecute and we'll maybe get them to actually work off some of the damage they've caused. That's something that can be quite easily done. But oh no, they can't do that because the insurance rates are too high. Well, I'm sorry. Get them to do something. I don't know. But just don't have them. Don't have them do nothing. Oh well, let's lock them up. Well, they're not going to learn anything. At least if they pay back the company with their sweat, maybe they'll learn something. that will go towards a better job, that they're able to get up and do something, having them just working so, or just laying around and, oh well, I'll just get a slap on the wrist with the judicial system. Well, you know what? You probably will. But I'm sure the parole system could pay for insurance for these guys, or these guys, should be covered by parole, at least for the first time. If they're repeated offenders, then, they need to go out and be punished more harshly, whatever the word is. But, maybe they need to work on with other teens and coming up with a program in which teens have somewhere to go and do something. Now, Chilliwack is a fairly rural, spread out area, and if it is teenagers, they probably don't have anything to do. So just the same as our last story, give them something to do. Now, if it's another company, who's having people paid to go out and do something, or the owners of that other company are, going out to do something, well then, prosecute to the full extent of the law. It's always that someone has to pay for this. And, it's their company's insurance, so the company's insurance goes up. So the company's prosecuted either way. And you know what? That doesn't really seem fair either. Allowing people to get away with this is not correct. We need to build, we get to do something with our teenagers that allow them to go out, instead of, it could be kids on drugs, but it could also be people who want to cause harm to another company. Either or, it's not suitable. Okay, so North Shore Search and Rescue is called out again for a hiker. Now, and these people had to stay out overnight. We're lucky it was a clear night and it wasn't raining, but it is cold out. Now, these search and rescues volunteer, but really I'd have to think, if they're a volunteer and they get called out and they have to work the next day, that's not fair. With the number of calls that they get called out every year, Search and Rescue should be a paid organization. Our fire departments here, they do an awful lot more than just actual fires. They first responders for this, they help people who are trapped, and they're paid. So why shouldn't our rescue system get paid as well? Now some people would be saying, oh, well, their standards aren't up, you know, to where they should be. Well, they've been saving souls up on the mountain for years. And they have kept themselves finely tuned, and so why shouldn't they be paid? People seem to think, oh, well, they do it for free. Let's just keep doing it. Now, I know there have been a proposal that people who work in them, they want to come up with a proposal so they are paid. And I think that's great. You need to have professionals in an area, and here's this agency, while it's all volunteers, but these people have done an excellent job, so why shouldn't they be paid positions? People get out and they get lost all the time. Well, I'm sorry. There's no one up there because no one's able to do it. Oh, well, they should keep doing it for free. They've done it for free this long. Well, that's garbage. You need to ensure that people who go out in our wilderness that we have, people are going to keep going out because they want to go out, they want to see nature. And, people get injured out there. And, they need help. Or people who are unprepared and go out and they need help as well. So, we have a group of volunteers who are doing the job. So why not make them a paid position? If they're able to keep up the standards that they have done so far, and if they are a paid position, well then, maybe they could excel at this. But just saying, oh, well, they're a volunteer and they can keep doing it isn't good enough. Well, just let you know that these are my thoughts. And like I said at the beginning, they're just my thoughts. I'm not here professing that I know all the answers. But on the other side, maybe something I say does hold a beat of truth. Anyway, have a great day, and we'll talk to you later. Bye now.